What's going on, Jerome's? So the Minnesota Vikings should and could be looking for the quarterback of the future at the top of the 2024 NFL Draft. And Michael Penix Jr. is a very interesting name. Finished second in the Heisman voting. Formerly at Indiana, suffered through a couple of injuries, went to UW, and has had two monster, phenomenal seasons in Seattle. Led the Huskies to the national title game. Things didn't go their way, but we'll get into that. But, Penix popped onto Vikings fans' radar because of his phenomenal game against Texas, where he lit up a very good Longhorns defense and just dropping piss missiles all over the place, throwing for 433 yards and a couple of touchdowns, and the ball just literally explodes out of that left hand. Quick release, big-time arm, great arm talent, and Vikings fans were like, let's go, let's go. He already looks good in purple and gold. Let's keep that. Let's keep Penix in purple. That whole thing. But then the national title game happened. And respect, Michigan does have the best defense in all of college football. Now, part of it is aided by playing the Gophers and playing Iowa, where they scored like a combined, 3 points? Doesn't matter. Either way, Michigan really had their way with Washington as a whole. By the way, people are going to poo-poo on J.J. McCarthy for completing 10 passes. He didn't need to do anything, man. I mean, Washington's defense literally let Michigan run for like 10 miles in the first quarter. It's ridiculous, man. But Penix did what he could. He dinged up his ankle, as well as he had looked like a rib issue and was missing on throws, and it was just really unfortunate. He's played in big-time games and big-time high-leverage situations all year. He's led some comebacks, but couldn't get it done against Michigan. Michigan was just too tough. I ended up 27 of 51 for 255, a touchdown and a pick, and a 63 QBR, and was just out of sorts. Like, he was missing throws, and the offensive line did him no favors either. He was sacked once, pressured 22 times by that elite Michigan front seven. So it sort of is what it is. And of course, recency bias. Oh, Michael Penix Jr., if Kwesi touches him before the 7th round, we will riot. Nah. Well, here's the whole thing, too. Like, the draft evaluation, you have to go by more than just one game. And yes, kind of an important game. The biggest game of Michael Penix Jr.'s career, but it is what it is. And people will say, he only does good against bad Pac-12 defenses. But, go through, like, Texas defense is not a slouch. Like, Texas had the 13th ranked defense in all college football this year. He beat Oregon twice. Oregon had a borderline top 10 defense this year. I think they ended up 11th in points. And also, you look at Oregon State, even though statistically didn't have a great game, weather was a part of it, but also on the road in Corvallis got it done. Oregon State's defense is solid. Same thing with Utah, same thing with Arizona. So, people like to stereotype based on conferences, like, Big 12 does this, SEC does this, Big 10 doesn't score any points, but that might be true. But the whole thing is, like, he's played good defenses, and he's put up big-time numbers, and people just sort of, it was out of sight, out of mind because he plays on the West Coast, and people didn't see all those games, not like, Jaden Daniels at LSU, again, not taking anything away from Jaden Daniels, but Michigan's defense is just really good. And do they know the plays? I don't know. Who really knows? But the whole thing about it is, like, Vikings fans were ready to give up a kidney and an appendage and maybe a left testicle to get Penix after his Texas performance. But then all of a sudden, after one game against an elite defense where he was playing catch-up ball the entire time, and Michigan was able to pin back their ears. Also, he lost his key number one running back early in the game. They're just like, boo, boo. But I don't think much changes. Penix is still the same guy. He's got a quick release. He's got great arm talent, great placement. Now, a thing that Michigan exposed is that he plays great in rhythm, but can he make plays off script? Can he make plays when he's moved off the spot in the pocket? That's going to be a big-time question. And also, clutch in close games. Well, the game wasn't close. So that one actually holds up, and maybe he should have won the Heisman over Daniels, or at least it should have been a lot closer than the voting was. But he is 24 in May. He's torn his right ACL twice. He's had shoulder issues. Also looked like he may have dinged up his shoulder again in that game against Michigan. So, what it comes down to, the Michigan game, won't be held against him as much as people think. I understand recency bias, what we just saw, and to a degree, there was a lot of recency bias after the Texas game as well. So let's not get that twisted. But I think that the evaluation will mainly come down to medicals. Age will be a factor too, and the fact that this is also a very deep quarterback class. So for me, I mean, things don't really change that much. So May, Williams, Daniels up at the top. I think Penix and Nix are in a secondary tier by themselves. I think McCarthy may sneak into the first round where, yeah, I know people will poo-poo that, but again, McCarthy was in a run-first offense, and you saw why. Look at Corum, look at the other running backs just completely carving things up. They did that all season, and it's a spot where I do think that McCarthy does have the tools. I think that he does have the arm. I think that he does have the decision-making to thrive outside of a run-heavy offense, and people write him off like he's Brock Purdy. I actually do think that McCarthy is going to scale up and be a better pro than he was in college, but we'll see. Although him meditating in front of all the cameras, just at the goalpost, just like, I'm gonna have my moment here. Oh, are the cameras here? Okay. All right, that bugged me a little bit. Draft evaluation is so stupid, man. But I still think that there will be 5 quarterbacks minimum taken in the first round. Maybe McCarthy sneaks in there as well. And I don't think that it changes much for Penix. I mean, yeah, it would have been great if he played well and blow the doors off the roof of Michigan. Although if they blew the roof off of Houston, it would have rained more. Who knows, man? But also, is it a requirement for every Super Bowl and national title game to be played on slippery, really crappy turf? Is that what's going on? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. But, hey, I still like Michael Penix. And, yeah, even though he had a rough game, you have to balance that out. What about his elite games against Oregon twice? What about his elite game against Texas? What about his great game against Utah and Arizona? So we'll see what happens, man. Anyways, draft process is long, and Penix, I'm sure will look great at the combine. He'll drop bombs at his pro day, and then everyone all of a sudden will be like, oh, we're back in. That's what recency bias does, man. But Michigan's good. Although, I wonder if their national title is going to be vacated. I guess we'll find out soon. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Michael Penix Jr. has his draft stock dinged up a little bit in the natty against Michigan. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Won't support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.